Hey guys, it's Neil again from Heart of Texas Armory, and today I'm bringing you guys another unboxing video of another watch that just arrived here at my shop, and this one is from the Philippines. And it's a Seiko. So any of you guys that have purchased watches or searched for watches on eBay, when you see Philippines and Seiko, you know what this is going to be. This is going to be a restored vintage dive watch. So now you have to be careful purchasing these things from the Philippines because some of them are just completely beat up and they're heavily polished, and they just do a poor job on the restoration. But you can get really good watches from the Philippines, and you can get really good deals if you do your research. This seller here from eBay ID, I'll put up on the screen right now, is Restored Watches. Has really good feedback. I did my own research on him. It seems to be that he offers a really good watch. We'll find out here in a minute when I open up this timepiece. So, and I'll quickly show here on my wrist, I've got another new watch that just came into the channel. This is the Phoebus Eagle Ray, and it's awesome. So be on the lookout for a review of that watch soon. That watch is on a watch tour courtesy of Aaron Dunlap. So appreciate it, Aaron, for that. Be on the lookout for that. Maybe in about a week or so I'll have that video review up. But back to the unboxing here. So enough talking. Let's go ahead and open this package up and see what we got in here. So let's find a way to open this here. Let's go ahead and slice the tape off of this. It's packaged really well. Looks like in a plastic kind of container. So there we go. And see if we can pull this open. Bear with me, guys, as I try to find the easiest way to open this thing. There we go. So taped up nice and strong. There we go. All right. Let's get that out of the way. So we've got a box full of shredded paper here, and hopefully there is a watch in here somewhere. I see a band right there, so that's a good sign. There we go. Awesome. Let's get the trash off of the table here and continue opening up this watch. So again, this is a vintage Seiko here, dive watch. So I'll tell you what, guys, let me go ahead and zoom in and we'll take the rest of this wrapper off and see what we got. Be right back. All right, guys, we're back here zoomed in. Let's go ahead and continue unwrapping this watch. So we've got a little rubber strap here, and let me find where this is taped up here so I can carefully slice along that. Looks like it's right here. Carefully cut into that. There we go. And we will start unraveling this and see what we got. There we go. And I'm looking at it here for the first time, and I'm pretty impressed, guys. Exactly what I ordered, which if you know anything about vintage Seiko dive watches, this is a classic here. This is what's called the Slim Turtle. This is a 6309-7290. So they had the original Turtle, which is slightly, a little more bulky, has a little more material, more of a true cushion style case. But in the early 80s, they came out with this variant, which is now known as the Slim Turtle. And they trimmed some of the case down a little bit here on the edges, as you can see. And it just wears smaller than the Turtle. So I'm pretty impressed. Let me go ahead and see if it's running. It is. It's ticking. So let me shake this because, old vintage Seikos, they are not hand windable. So let's go ahead and make sure we've got enough energy here to run the watch for the video. That should be good. And I'm looking at it here. I'm really liking the condition. Let's flip the watch over slowly and look at the case back, because sometimes these things are polished, like I mentioned, when they're restored, and they over polish the case back and you lose a lot of detail. Where this one, I see all the text, which is good. I even see the serial number. The Seiko Tsunami logo looks good. So overall, I can tell that they did buff it and polish it, but it's not done poorly. You still have angles here. Let me see if I can bring the watch up and hopefully refocus for you guys. There we go. You can see it still has a little bit of a hard angle here on the edge, which a lot of times you don't get that when they're polished heavily. In fact, I still see the kind of brushed finish on the top, polished here on the sides, of course, polished on the back, but overall looks really good. So what do they do on these things? They actually, well, they work over the movement. So they do a a tune-up on the movement. Now, I don't know what exactly they do on that, but they claim they do that. It's about a $50 value is what the eBay seller mentioned in his ad. They also replaced the bezel insert. So this is a brand new bezel insert. It's a new dial, which looks really good. And I'll have to try the lume on this later. I don't know what the lume's going to be like, but it's obviously going to be better than a true vintage watch that has the original lume. But I don't think it's going to be as good as, you know, new production Seiko by any means. But we'll take a look at that when we do a full review of this watch. But overall, guys, I'm pretty impressed. Let's try the bezel. Feels nice and smooth, clicks fine. And it looked like it lined up, but let's see if we can get that to line up on camera here. Yeah, it lines up. So I'm pretty pleased. The crystal has no scratches. I see a little mark, but let's see if that's just a piece of dust or something. Yeah, the crystal's in perfect condition. So this watch, I'm pretty impressed. Let's go ahead and put it on the wrist. So let me remove the Phoebus Eagle Ray, and we will try put on the Slim Turtle. And there's the Eagle Ray next to the Seiko, the vintage, so you can see a size comparison. Both of these are apparently 41mm watches. We'll check this here in just a second, but let's slide that out of the way. We'll put the Seiko on and see what it looks like on wrist. I've been wanting one of these Slim Turtles for quite some time, so I'm pretty excited. Wow, I love it. Gotta love these old vintage Seikos, guys. You know, this seller here, Restored Watches on eBay, I can highly recommend him. The only negative is the time it takes to get here. Of course, I had this sent here to Texas in the United States, and it's coming from the Philippines, so you got to expect a little bit of shipping delays, you know, with customs and all that. But overall, it looks really good on the wrist, not too big. The lug-to-lug is apparently really short. We'll measure it here in just a second, probably like 45 or 46mm. The height is only 13mm, if I remember correctly, but it wears really good on my 6 7/8 inch wrist. So let's go ahead and remove it. We'll get some dimensions, and we'll wrap this video up. So let's turn on the caliper here. All right, let's get the lug-to-lug. Looking at 45, case thickness. Right at 13, and case diameter should be right around 41, which is nice. There we go. Yeah, right at 41, maybe just over 41 on that case diameter. So really nice set of specs, in my opinion, for a dive watch. Overall, guys, I'm really pleased with this initial look at this timepiece. So I'll probably wear this over the next week or two and then do a full review of this thing. So be on the lookout for that. But overall, highly recommend this watch. If you're in the market for a vintage Seiko like this, definitely check out Restored Watches out of the Philippines. They do a good job on their restorations. One thing I will mention before we go here is I will probably take a look at what's underneath the case back here. A lot of times these old watches from the Philippines can be pitted and rusted out on the inside of the case because a lot of the restorers don't, you know, spend any time finishing out the inside of the case. They just do the exterior. So I'll be interested to pop that off and see kind of what kind of condition is actually underneath all that, the case back there. But overall, just initial impressions, very positive. I think this is going to be a really cool timepiece for my collection. One that hopefully, as long as it keeps accurate time and it's waterproof, which I'll have to test that too. But if it passes all that, I'll probably keep this in the collection for a long time. So hopefully you enjoyed this unboxing, and be on the lookout for a full video review of this piece and also the really cool, super awesome vintage looking Phoebus Eagle Ray. So hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Y'all guys take care. I'll catch you on the next one.